The earth was loud, not with music, not with laughter, with something else, a noise that had no name, but God heard it from everywhere at once. He looked down at what he had made. He had made it good. Forests full, rivers running clean, animals moving through light and shadow the way he had designed them to. But the people, the ones he had made in his own likeness, the ones he had breathed into, they had turned the world into something he barely recognized. They lied without shame. They took without giving. They hurt the weak and called it strength. And the worst part? They had forgotten him completely. Not rejected him, forgotten, as if he had never existed at all. God grew quiet, and when God grows quiet, something is about to change. There was a man named Noah. He was not a famous man. He had no great title and no seat at any table of power. His hands were rough from building things. His back was bent from years of honest labor. He had a wife who matched his spirit perfectly, 3 sons who were finding their way in the world, and a life that was, by most measures, unremarkable. But Noah had something almost no one else around him had anymore. He still listened for God. Every morning, before the world started its noise, Noah would go quiet. He would sit outside his home while the sky was still gray and the dew still heavy, and he would simply be still. Most people thought he was eccentric. A few thought he was simple. His oldest son had asked him once as a boy, "Father, who are you talking to when you sit there so silently?" And Noah had said, "Someone who is always there. You just have to stop making noise long enough to hear him." It was on one of those mornings that God spoke, not with thunder, not with a burning bush, just a voice, clear and close, the way a father speaks to a son when it is time to say something serious. Noah. Noah did not startle. He had heard this voice before, though never like this, never with this weight behind it. "Yes, Lord, I am going to end what has begun here. The earth is full of violence. It fills every home, every road, every heart. I made man to reflect my nature, and look at what they are reflecting instead." Noah was silent. He wanted to argue. He wanted to list the people he knew who were trying, who were struggling to be good even in a world that punished goodness. But he also knew that God saw everything he could not see. So he waited. "You are different, Noah, not perfect, but different. You have kept a space in your life for me. And because of that, I am going to keep a space for you in what comes next, what is coming. Water, more than this world has ever seen. Enough to cover everything." The words landed in Noah's chest like stones in a still pond. He felt the ripples moving outward. Everything? Everything that breathes air, everything that walks or crawls or flies. The earth will be washed clean and we will begin again. Noah pressed his face into his hands. He was not crying yet. He was simply trying to hold the size of what he had just heard. "But you said you are keeping a space for me, for you, for your wife, for your sons and their wives, and for the animals, 2 of every kind, so that what I made does not disappear from the earth forever." "How?" "You are going to build a vessel, large enough to carry all of them. I will give you the dimensions. I will give you the materials. I will give you the time and the people, Lord." "My neighbors? The ones who still have some good left in them?" God's answer was not immediate. And in that pause, Noah felt something more devastating than a quick answer would have been. "Warn them, Noah. Tell them what is coming. Tell them there is still time to turn. Give them every chance. But I will not force anyone through the door." Noah told his wife first. She sat very still while he spoke. When he finished, she was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "How big?" And that was the moment Noah knew she believed him entirely. The building took years, not weeks. Not months, years. Noah's sons worked alongside him. They learned to shape wood in ways they had never needed to before. They learned to seal the seams with pitch until the whole structure smelled of it. That thick, dark, ancient smell that would cling to their clothes long after each day's work was done. The neighbors watched, at first with curiosity, then with amusement, then as the structure grew too large to ignore, with the particular mockery that people reserve for someone they have decided is beneath them. Noah, what is that thing, a vessel? Come, let me tell you why. A vessel for what? There is not a river within miles that would hold it. Not a river. A flood, God has spoken to me. The rain is coming, 40 days without stopping, and when it is done there will be nothing left standing that is not on this boat. The laughter was loud enough to be heard from a distance. You heard God? I did. And he told you to build a boat. In the middle of dry land, he did. Noah, friend, when was the last time it rained here? Do you remember? The ground has been dry for months. Where exactly is this floodwater coming from? I don't know how he will do it. I only know that he will. They shook their heads. They walked away, and Noah picked up his tools and kept working. This happened more than once. The second time, they sent a group, 10 or 12 men who came with the air of people delivering an intervention. We are worried about you. This has gone on long enough. You are neglecting your fields. Your family is suffering. Whatever you heard or thought you heard, it was not real. No God would ask this of someone. Come back to your normal life while you still have one. Noah put down his mallet. He looked at them. Really looked at them, not with contempt, but with the grief of someone who can see a door closing. I know how this sounds. I know what you think of me right now. But I am asking you to consider, what if I am right? What if in 30 days the sky opens and does not close? Would you rather have been safe and felt foolish, or confident and been lost? They stared at him. Come, there is room. Bring your families. One man in the back of the group looked uncertain for just a moment. Noah saw it. He took a step toward him, but the others pulled the man away, still laughing, and the moment closed like water over a stone. The animals came on their own. This was the part that broke something open in Noah's chest every time he thought about it afterward. No one rounded them up. No one built fences to guide them. They simply came in pairs as if they had always known the way, as if some frequency had gone out into the world and only they were tuned to hear it. Creatures that should have eaten each other walked side by side without a glance of aggression. Animals that Noah had never seen before in his life arrived from directions he could not have pointed to on a map. They filed in with a patience and a dignity that made the whole thing feel less like a rescue mission and more like a procession. Noah's youngest son stood at the ramp watching them come and said nothing for a very long time. Then he said, "This is real, isn't it?" It was not a question. "Yes," said Noah, "this is real." On the last evening, Noah walked out to the edge of the village. He did not call out. He did not argue. He simply stood there long enough that a few people noticed him, and those people stopped what they were doing. "I am leaving tomorrow," he said. "When I close the door, I will not be able to open it again from the inside. Come with me." A woman near the market looked up from her work. Something in her face moved. "And if you are wrong," she said, "then I will have built a boat for nothing, and I will live with that. But if I am right," he let the sentence end there. The woman looked at him for a long time. Then she looked at the sky. Then back at her work, and Noah turned and walked back. The door closed at dawn. His wife was the one who heard it first. A sound like distant drums, so low it was more felt than heard. She reached for his hand in the dark. Then the first drop hit the wood above them. Then another. Then the sky cracked open like something that had been waiting its whole life to let go. And the rain came down in a weight that none of them had words for. The animals went still. The children pressed close. And Noah stood in the center of the ark with his eyes closed and his lips moving. Outside, the world changed. For 40 days, they lived in that strange suspended world, rocking dark, full of breath and warmth, and the sounds of creatures living alongside each other in a way that should not have been possible. On the 40th day, the rain stopped, not gradually, like a hand closing. The silence that followed was the loudest thing Noah had ever heard. He sent the dove 3 times. The first time, it came back tired with nothing in its feet. The second time, and Noah still felt something catch in his throat when he remembered this, it came back with a single olive. Leaf, small, green, impossible. Leaf from a tree that should have been underwater. He held it in both hands, for a long time without speaking. The third time, the dove did not come back at all, and the whole family stood at the window looking out at the horizon, and nobody said anything, because there are moments where words are simply the wrong tool. The mountain came up to meet them. The ark settled with a long, low groan, like something that had carried its weight faithfully and was finally being allowed to rest. God spoke again. "Come out, Noah, all of you. Every creature. Let them fill the earth again. Let life begin." They opened the door. The air was clean in a way that Noah had no comparison for, as if the world had been returned to an earlier version of itself, before the noise, before the forgetting, before everything that had made God grow quiet, the animals poured out into the new morning. The birds rose in spirals. His grandchildren, born in those long months on the water, saw the open sky for the first time in their lives and simply stared. Noah knelt on the wet ground. "You kept your word," he said. "You kept yours," God said. "That is the only reason we are having this conversation." Then the sky shifted, and across the whole horizon, east to west, shore to shore, a bow of light appeared in the clouds. Colors that had no names yet, arranged in an arc so precise and so enormous that it looked less like weather and more like a signature. "This is my promise," said God, "that I will not unmake what I have made. That this will not happen again. Every time you see this in the sky, remember, this is not decoration. This is a covenant. I do not break those." Noah lived for a long time after that, long enough to watch his sons build homes, to hear his grandchildren's grandchildren call his name, to see the earth fill again with sound. Some of it beautiful, some of it still worrying, all of it irreplaceable. He never forgot what he had heard in the dark. He never forgot the woman at the market, whose face had moved and who had looked at the sky and then looked away. He never stopped being grateful for the mornings, for the stillness, for the space he had kept, and for the voice that had known all those years ago that someone was listening.